Good morning. It's December 30th, and this is your daily brief in science. Here's everything you need to know. A volcano project in Mexico is advancing our understanding of Popocatépetl by exposing its complex interior to improve eruption response for nearby communities and critical infrastructure within 62 miles. Researchers aim to enhance hazard assessment so residents and authorities have more reliable information to guide evacuations when needed. The interior image reveals multiple magma pools at different depths separated by rock and other material, indicating a more complex structure than a single vent model. The three-dimensional cross-section extends about 11 miles below the crater, showing concentrated activity toward the southeast and a layered interior that challenges simpler magma pathways. Field expeditions involved arduous climbs with heavy equipment, facing hazards such as lahars, ash, and potential pyroclastic flows with long hours of data collection. Practical challenges included battery failures, animal interference, and dangers from lahar and pyroclastic events shaping ongoing data collection. Researchers conducted high-elevation fieldwork to install and maintain instruments and collect data amid volcanic hazards. The volcano is treated as a natural laboratory with open questions about why tremors are more frequent on the southeast side and what this implies for magma dynamics and eruption behavior. The project seeks to improve real-time assessment and response by authorities during eruptions and address questions about tremor distribution and magma accumulation. Researchers documented observations from their latest expedition, emphasizing the dynamic interior and ongoing questions raised by results. The project culminates years of data collection toward a direct, data-driven visualization of the volcano's interior to inform science and public safety. A warning from scientists and analysts that time is slipping away to avert dangerous warming is the thread running through today's science section. Despite La Niña cooling, record-high temperatures persist, underscoring the link between emissions and extreme heat and prompting calls for earlier warnings, stronger response systems, and accelerated shifts away from fossil fuels. As year 2025 ranks among the 3 hottest years on record, the 3-year average exceeds the Paris 1.5 Celsius threshold, fueling consensus that action must come forward across nations to limit warming and reduce impacts. China continues to expand renewables while increasing coal investments, Europe weighs climate action against economic growth, and the United States shifts toward fossil fuels under different political leadership, painting a complex global picture. World weather attribution ties sustained high global temperatures to human-caused emissions, noting that La Niña did not prevent record warmth, and that adaptation alone has limits. Extreme events have affected large populations and economies, highlighting forecasting challenges and the strain on emergency response during rapid storms like Hurricane Melissa. United Nations climate talks in Brazil ended without a concrete plan to phase out fossil fuels, though adaptation funding increased. The timelines and impact remain uncertain, and overall assessments say keeping warming to 1.5 Celsius is unlikely. Experts emphasize the need to accelerate emission reductions, strengthen early warning and response systems, and maintain sustained global action to confront escalating disaster risk. Even if 1.5 Celsius overshoots, there is a stated possibility of reversal with rapid, substantial greenhouse gas reductions, but that requires unprecedented acceleration in policy and practice worldwide. A new class of antivirals called helicase primase inhibitors, or HPIS, is being shown to disable herpes simplex virus by blocking the motor that unwinds DNA. Harvard Medical School researchers map how these drugs work at the molecular level, shedding light on why they can be effective where other drugs fail. HPIS offer an alternative to DNA polymerase targeting therapies and may help with drug-resistant HSV strains and possibly other DNA viruses. Real-time optical tweezers experiments show HPIS stopping the helicase during DNA unwinding, providing a direct view of how drug binding halts the enzyme. Complementary optical tweezers studies confirm in real time that when the drug grips the enzyme, helicase activity stalls and DNA unwinding stops. Key collaborators include Jonathan Abraham and Joseph Loparo, with work conducted at HMS and funding from NIH and others. Cryo-electron microscopy visualizes near-atomic structures of the helicase primase bound by inhibitors, pinpointing the binding sites that lock the enzyme. Focusing on HSV1, The high-resolution cryo-EM data reveal how inhibitors bind the helicase-primase complex to halt replication. This research connects how drug-viral component interactions translate into blocked viral replication. By blending structural biology with dynamic imaging, the study links static structures to real-time enzymatic activity, laying groundwork for more effective HSV antivirals and potential treatments for other DNA viruses. Herpes viruses, including HSV and cytomegalovirus, affect millions and can cause severe complications in immunocompromised individuals, underscoring the need for new therapies. Overall, the findings show HPIS disrupt herpes virus activity at the molecular level and clarify their mode of action. A joint funding push is reshaping how ALS research moves forward, with the ALS network guiding a centralized program to cut infrastructure costs, remove duplication, and direct more money to promising science. This collaborative funding model aims to accelerate treatment development, prevention, and understanding by drawing on decades of leadership and the Scientific Advisory Committee. ALS United remains a core, long-standing part of the national ALS movement, operating alongside the ALS network, formerly ALS Golden West, to end ALS through local support, research funding, and policy advocacy under the banner, Together, We End ALS. The network comprises independent nonprofit groups that serve roughly half the U.S. ALS population, reinforcing a nationwide effort to fund research and advocate for policy that helps people with the disease. Within this framework, ALS United Greater New York supports people with ALS and their families, funds critical research, and pushes for policies across the country. The press release provides media contact information and links to learn more about ALS United and the ALS Network, including a contact for media inquiries. The ALS Network partners with the ALS community to drive prevention, treatments, and cures while improving access to quality care with operations spanning California, Hawaii, and beyond. In 2025, ALS United Greater Chicago increased its funding for ALS research and coordinated with 11 other ALS United members to build a robust portfolio of research innovation grants. Kristen Kokoman, President and Chief Executive Officer of ALS United Greater New York, emphasizes collaborative funding as a way to speed progress and amplify impact, especially amid potential federal funding cuts. The expanded funding occurs even as federal budget pressures continue, with a focus on sustaining momentum by prioritizing high-impact scientific discovery and directing resources to critical areas. A warning about our water supplies: a global push to improve access to safe drinking water while cutting reliance on single-use plastics. Researchers are calling for standardized testing to identify particle composition and tighten regulation of nano and microplastics in bottled water, and for broader shifts toward sustainable water access solutions. Health concerns from microplastic ingestion include chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, hormonal disruption, neurological and reproductive impacts, and a potential cancer risk, though long-term effects are still uncertain due to data gaps. Ingested microplastics can reach the bloodstream and accumulate in organs, with unclear full systemic effects because current testing has limitations. Concordia University researcher Sajeti centers the study on health risks from microplastics in plastic bottles, building on early experiences to shape the focus. The piece emphasizes the precautionary principle and urges coordinated global action to reduce exposure even as epidemiological data remain incomplete. Existing detection tools can identify very small particles, but often miss material composition, underscoring the need for improved methods to assess risk. A review of more than 140 studies shows there is no standardized global testing for identifying particle composition or accurately quantifying microplastics in humans. Monterrey, Mexico is highlighted as a regional example of water scarcity and high bottled water use, which heightens plastic waste exposure risks. Exposure routes include ingestion, with water, especially bottled water, as the primary conduit, along with inhalation and, to a lesser extent, dermal contact. Estimates suggest people ingest tens of thousands of microplastic particles annually, with bottled water users facing notably higher exposure due to daily consumption. Microplastics have entered the global food chain, appearing in beverages, seafood, salt, honey, and beer. and bottled water markedly increases that risk. This has been your Daily Brief in Science. To read more about these stories, follow the links in the episode bio. You can also subscribe to these updates via email at www.brief.news. For more daily podcasts about the topics you love, visit brief.news/podcasts. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be back with everything you need to know.